Luke Skywalker was one of the greatest Jedi Masters in galactic history. Trained under the legendary Jedi of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Grandmaster Yoda, he became a servant of the light. But what if Luke could not resist the dark side? What if he was a Sith? How would this change Star Wars history? As you're about to see, a lot changes. We're going to start in A New Hope, where Obi-Wan is facing off against his former apprentice. After Obi-Wan is struck down, a fire burns inside Luke, and igniting his father's lightsaber, he sprints towards Vader, who is still inspecting Obi-Wan's cloak. Luke attempts a strike at the helmet of Vader, but is met by a red blade, as Vader reacts in time. Luke attempts to use Shi-Cho strikes at Vader, but his lack of practice is evident, as Vader easily disarms him. Nevertheless, Vader sees that the boy is talented, and feels a faint connection with him, unlike with the other Jedi he has defeated. As a result, after pocketing the lightsaber, Vader commands several stormtroopers to cuff him and place him in a holding cell instead of killing him. Vader would then contact Sidious, with both of them sensing something in the Force. Sidious would deduce that the boy was Anakin Skywalker's son, and that if not turned, he could pose a threat to them. Vader would agree, and they would take him to the planet of Korriban, a planet strong with the dark side of the Force. Although the ghosts of the Sith tombs were not receptive to Luke and Vader at first, they grew to like Luke, much preferring Luke's intentions to Palpatine's. Luke would also grow to despise the light side, as Vader would begin to manipulate his thoughts, telling him how Obi-Wan had failed to take care of Luke, and how his friends had abandoned him. Eventually, Luke would be turned to the dark side, much to the delight of Sidious and Vader, as Luke would begin to assist Vader in taking out any remaining Jedi and Rebel cells. Meanwhile on Dagobah, Yoda could sense something was gravely wrong through the Force. Discussing this disturbance with the Force ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi, they concluded that Luke had turned to the dark side. This left them with only one hope. With the rebels on Hoth, Obi-Wan would transmit to Leia to come to the planet of Dagobah. Leia would initially find this odd, passing this off as a hallucination, but in time, she sensed that to go to Dagobah was the right thing to do. Leaving the Rebel Alliance and its leadership wholly to Mon Mothma, she would venture off to Dagobah, curious as to what laid ahead. Crash landing in the swamp with R2, she would have a look around, but could only see trees. Suddenly, the ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi appeared in front of her, and wordlessly gestured her to go to a little hut, its lighting now visible through the misty air. Entering the hut, she saw a diminutive green figure cooking in a small pot. The figure turned around and beckoned Leia to sit. Leia would ask the figure why Obi-Wan had sent her here, to which the figure would chronicle how he was a former Grand Master of the Jedi Order named Yoda, and how Luke was now not on their side. The latter statement caused Leia to faint in shock, and R2 to topple over. As Yoda began to explain what Leia needed to do, she was determined to get Luke back. In the meantime, Luke was becoming powerful, too powerful for Palpatine's liking, as he foresaw a potential attempt to overthrow him. As he finally stopped spinning in his chair, Palpatine himself would venture to Korriban, this time with greater care, knowing that the Sith ghosts had not been pleased with his previous excursion to the planet. Meeting Luke and Vader at the base of a rocky cliff, he would suddenly unleash Force lightning at Vader, electrocuting his suit, causing him to writhe in pain. Luke would use his lightsaber to block the attack, using his new powers to push the lightning back towards Sidious, as Sidious yelled at Vader for betraying him by taking a new apprentice. As Luke pressed his attack, Sidious would switch to his lightsaber, lunging it towards Luke, waiting to see how he would respond. Luke would respond with uncoordinated attacks, fighting on instinct by giving in to the Force. Such was the speed of Sidious. Sidious was surprised at how refined Luke was in lightsaber combat, even more powerful than he had foreseen. Using his acrobatics, Sidious would leap onto a perched surface, and using the Force, threw large rocks in Luke's direction, causing Luke to stop his attack. Luke would use the Force to stop all the rocks, and divert them back towards Sidious, the sheer weight of which caused him to fall off the rock and back onto the ground. As Luke stood over Sidious with his lightsaber to the Sith Lord's throat, suddenly, the Sith ghost engulfed Sidious and like a tornado threw him around, with his Force lightning having no effect whatsoever. After what seemed like hours, Sidious's body lay limp on the floor. After Luke inspected the corpse, he helped Vader back to his feet. A new era for the Sith had just begun. That is it for part 1 of What If Luke Was a Sith. If you want a part 2, please like this video and subscribe for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you want to see next. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.